r/DeadBedrooms. Crowbra81 says, birthday dinner with friends has a humiliating end. To set the context, Emma, M42, high libido, married to a F42, low libido, and have been really struggling with our sex life for around 10 years. She dictates all the terms of our sex life, and I work within her boundaries. She's just not into sex, regardless of what happens. Anyway, we had 10 close friends over for my wife's birthday dinner, and I was cooking for all. I worked my butt off on appetizers and mains. Dinner went well, and everyone was happy. After a little break I brought out the cake and was serving it up, and there was a little joke from one of her friends about my wife putting out tonight because I worked so hard. My wife quickly snapped back and said, no, it's my birthday, I don't need another chore to do. Everyone started laughing. Our mismatched libidos are known, and then the jokes kept coming, and it crushed me. The girls kept it going for about 15 minutes and couldn't stop laughing. I didn't react because didn't want to cause a scene for her birthday, but it was pretty demoralizing and felt betrayed. I honestly think I'm done. There's no point staying in a relationship with someone hoss, just not in it at the same level. At 42, I still think there's an opportunity to meet someone special. I'm just balking because of the kids. Fluffidalpine says, buddy, you need to walk out. The disrespect speaks volumes about what she thinks of you. I think I'm normal 12 says, so your friends know about your lack of sex and still laugh at you? Well, those wouldn't be my friends. Crowbra81 says, my mates stopped laughing after a minute or two and knew when to hold up, but I don't think her friends realized after a few bottles of wine. I think I'm normal 12 says, that hurts buddy. Iconic Giraffe says, wow, I'm sorry people find it hilarious. She sounds quite unpleasant. Crowbra81 says, there were a couple of good jokes in there. Wine me, dine me, don't 69 me, stuff like that. Iconic Giraffe says, sounds like you'll be having the last laugh with a divorce. I doubt she'll expect it. And they say that those that laugh last laugh loudest. Boring Librarian says, she doesn't even respect you. There is plenty of time to meet someone special who wants an intimate relationship. Don't stay for the kids. All they do is learn to grow up and accept a dead bedroom and stale relationship as being inevitable because their parents modeled it for them. Let them see you happy and in love with someone. My husband and I have a great relationship full of sex and intimacy, and I'm hoping by modeling that for our son he'll grow up and expect the same for himself. Life is too short to be in a bad marriage. Children need to see adults who kiss and hug and hold hands and cuddle and are playful and laugh together and genuinely love each other. This does not sound like that. What would you want your children to do if they were in your exact situation? Would you want them to stay and be degraded and neglected by their spouse, or would you hope they had the guts to find someone better? You can still be a great and involved dad, even if you aren't married anymore. r/DeadBedrooms. Bloody Comrade says, caught masturbating, angry husband. I deleted all my post history because I was embarrassed, I guess. My comments are still around though. Everything blew up when my husband caught me masturbating. You might remember the story. I don't feel like getting into it all over again. But we signed divorce papers about 2 weeks ago now, and I feel like shit today. Why didn't he want me? Why did I have to beg for him to even kiss me sometimes? I feel so starved for attention. So starved for the touch of man that not only desires me, but actually likes me. I feel myself yearning for men I meet in everyday situations. I'm taking a screen printing class and the instructor is really nice. It's only 2 of us in the class and the other student is a guy as well, but where I might normally feel nervous around men, I feel like they both might like me. A couple of times the instruction has touched my hand during the class while showing me something in Photoshop, and I swear my body feels like it's on fire. It doesn't seem like he's doing it on purpose, but he has accidentally touched me a couple of times walking by as well. He will sometimes walk me to my car after the class as well, if we're still talking. And the other day I wore a low-cut top and the other student looked at my breasts. He looked right up at me afterwards, and years ago I would have reverted my eyes, but I just kept eye contact with him. He and I have a lot in common music-wise, so we have been chatting, and he asked for my number the other day. I have never ever been the one to give a man my number or even try to pick one up before. I was with my husband for 14 years, but it makes me feel really confident that they might be interested in me. At the very least, I know the other student likes the way my body looks. And I may be reaching with the teacher, but he is really nice, and I think he's super smart, so I won't feel weird about going out with him. Just for fun, I've never had sex with someone I wasn't in a relationship with or in love with before, but I'm so horny. What if I had sex with both of them? Is that crazy? I don't even think him all that great or all that attractive, but I feel like I could shoot my shot. What are people's experiences after being an LTR and finally being on your own? I think obviously it could make me feel really happy or possibly really shitty. And him not talking about a relationship. Him just talking like a date and maybe one night. Thoughts? Shaky Situation says, Lordy, stop. I come here for solace, divorce talk, and walk away with a boner. FD9F 21229F31 IFB1EE says, hello again, you/bloody comrade. It's good to see another post from you. I just wanted to stop by and weigh in, as a lot of what you've expressed here is incredibly familiar to me. First of all, I imagine 99% of posters here completely identify with feeling starved for attention. When my soon-to-be ex, SDBX, and I were on the same page regarding divorce, I immediately threw myself into every dating app and every method and avenue of meeting people. I've met lots of wonderful and exceptional people, and, yes, some of these meetings have led to sex. I won't mince words, it's been incredible. Not only because I've actually been having sex, but because I'm getting validation. Not only do people actually desire me, as you've intimated in your post, but they actually enjoy sex with me. It's unbelievably gratifying, and there's no shame for seeking this sort of validation out. However, one big thing I want to bring up, I miss being married. I mean, legally, we are still married, we have to be separated for a long while, yet but I mean that I miss married life. She's moved out, and our communication at this point is literally minimal. I miss the texts every morning, afternoon, and evening. I miss talking to one another and hearing one another while in the same living space. I miss going to bed, and, even in the absence of sexual chemistry, being able to put my arms around her, pulling her close to me, and falling asleep with her in my arms. I know we aren't right for each other, but it doesn't change the fact I'm lonely. Sex isn't companionship. And having sex doesn't change the fact that I'm divorcing and that, in so doing, an enormous part of myself, my identity, is being torn asunder. So much of who I'm as a person has been tied to doing for and being there for my partner, and now I have to discover who I, alone, am. It's I'm hard, and I spent the better part of today sobbing and grieving the companionship I no longer have. I never realized how much of myself is tied up in doing for someone else until I had to begin living without a companion. This is a reality you will almost certainly be facing. I know in my heart of hearts that my SDBX and I are not right for one another, but I still grieve. I'm absolutely struggling trying to find out who I'm as an individual, and there are honestly days in which I spend most of my time in bed, desperately trying to sleep away as many hours as I can. I'm going to therapy, but it's all a work in progress. I don't mean to share all of this as some sort of harbinger of awful things to come. My hope is that you have a far easier time of things than I do. You shouldn't feel shame for pursuing a fun, short-term fling with someone. However, you're also correct to be vigilant. You may find that sex with someone else stirs additional feelings of grief and resentment. A lot of people can give advice, but it's up to you to navigate this as best you can. I hope it goes without saying that I hope for nothing but the best for you. Important Payment 63 says, yes girl, glad you're well. I'd say get with them both. Perhaps towards the end of the classes though, in case they both realize class could be very awkward after that. I'd do a little online stalking too. Can't hurt to be careful as woman when deciding to be intimate with someone. r/DeadBedrooms. Cleopatra 25-25 says, husband just fell asleep after blowjob. So I, 35 HLF, and my husband, 35 LLM, have been married for 8 years. We have 3 kids total and 2 together. Because he has shown minimal interest in me since our youngest was born over 4 years ago, I told him about 8 months ago that if he wants any intimacy, that he would have to be the one to initiate it, because I was done being turned down. I should also mention that he's been sick for a few months with something. It's been like a long drawn out flu, but docs can't pin it down. One said it might be Lyme's disease. Anyway, he was hurting and feeling itchy last night, so I tried to give him a little bit of a rub down to try to help, just over his back and shoulders. After doing that a while, I started to pull my hand back so I could get comfortable and go to sleep. He rolled to his back and pulled my hand back and erected it further down. Long story short, I gave him what I would say is one of the best blowjob/hand jobs he's ever gotten. He finished, and when he was done I came up and laid next to him thinking he would do something for me. All I got was a few boob grabs before he fell asleep. Angryface 1986 says, what a lucky man. This is completely insane. I can offer nothing but my sympathy. I would kill to be treated like that. Kansas Long Meat 42 says, you gotta put it on his mouth and remind him that his queen deserves her pleasure as well. I'll sound like you're a good wife who cares, and that should count for something. Hope he recognizes that. SD5060 says, you sound very loving. Sorry to hear about his drawn out illness. This is the in sickness and in health part of your vows. It's also okay to talk about falling asleep after you took care of him. Most guys would probably be more than willing to make up for that misstep and reward you however you want it to be. Open-ended questions are the route to take. Despectful says, if he is chronically ill, I would assume it's possible this may have played a part in his falling asleep. If someone is in a lot of pain and then made very comfortable, falling asleep is not unusual. Basically, I'm not sure in this scenario I would take it personally, even though it doesn't feel good. DryCloud 5014 says, as a man, I can't recall ever getting a BJ or HJ from my wife and not offering to return the favor. She most often just says that she's too tired or she would take too long, which actually I prefer. The longer, the better for me as I enjoy playing. When she's in the mood, I always try to bring her to orgasm first, before anything for me. Illness can have a significant impact on someone's libido, energy, etc. I hope your husband recovers and can become the partner you desire. Ping Pong Jing Jiang says, my other half is extraordinarily talented at similar things that you describe above. Honestly, I try to stay awake afterwards and do so most times, but sometimes, in the 1-2 times per year we have sex, she can utterly destroy me. So maybe you're just too good at it. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.